All right, there we go. Boy Q City, we back. Um, just giving you some quick recap. End of the season, last game of the season, lost to play in. We're mid team. All right, that's where we are. First things first, I'm gonna get into this game. Um, get into what led us up to this game, and then where we go from here. Right, quick 30, get up in and out of here. Right. So first things first, this game is really defined by the fact that we gave up 10 early and we lost by 9. I think that is like exactly what our team is about right there, right? So he started off on a 10-0 run, and if you look over the whole course of the game, we were never able to make up those 10 points. Never happened. Even if we took the lead a couple times, they were right there. They came out. We brought it to overtime. Trey with the coming down miraculous shot, but even what we move it to 91 to 86, I think, or 91 to 89 is when we got our first lead, something like that. Immediately gave it up. We were down seven in overtime. Like we just those 10 points early in the game kind of showed exactly who we are as a team, and I think that says a lot about our season. You look at them. You held Bam to 17 points. Wiggins had 28 and 8, but halftime, Khalil Ware, and they shortened their rotation, right? They had a playoff rotation. I think they played 9 guys. Really, it was 8 because Burks and Anderson only got 11 minutes over the whole course of the game, right? Uh, you had Mitchell, Highsmith, Ware, Hero, Wiggins, Bam, all like play 40 minutes plus. Ware only played 22. My fault. But Hero gives you 30 points. Cool. That happens. 37 and 8. Excuse me, for an overtime game. As much as the ball's in Hero's hands, that's not crazy. You hold Wiggins to 28 and 8. You hold Bam to 17, 5, and 11. You feel real good about the game. Davion Mitchell had 16, 5, and 3. That man owned overtime, bro. It was prime Kobe stuff. This dude was hitting every shot, crashing the boards, extremely active and whatnot. Um, that first 10 seed to ever go to the playoffs. I think it says a lot that we were, the first team to lose to a 10 seed. And it's just because the 10 seed's path is so hard. Like you're the 10th in your conference. You have to win 2 away games just to play the number 1 seed. You know what I'm saying? So it's really set up for the 7-8. Going on the Hawks side, we had a rough go of it. So if you look at it, Big O played 50 minutes, 28 and 12. He was a monster. He ignited the comeback. He was the main reason we were even in the game. Trey had right up under 30, 29, 11. He was hurt the first half, and then not actually hurt, but he was like hurting the team the first half. Really came on strong in the second half. Then you have Dyson, who had 11 and 10. That floater was not there tonight, even though that thing's been patented all year, just wasn't there tonight. But here's where I want to get to. This is what I want to get to, and it was going to be something that I was definitely going to be like blaring red flag as we go into the playoffs. So if you look, you had Big O, 2D, Trey, your Niang, and Terrence Mann, Karis LeVert. All of them played 25 plus minutes, right? Terrence Mann got 25. Ricochet had 16 minutes, bro. And Mo Gay had 15. Both of them had 3 points. I don't know what Ricochet's plus minus on the floor was, but he's one of the ones I want to talk about. He's a rookie. So is Mo Gay. I am not piling on to them when I say this. I think it's hard for any team to, if you are not like a generational type player, be depending on rookies in the playoffs, right? Be depending on rookies like right there in the playoffs, their first playoffs. I think that's a tall order. That's a tough order, right? And they showed they were shook. They showed they were shook. They weren't able to, Ricochet's been knocking down the three ball pretty easily. He was active on defense. He wasn't getting cooked, but like starting both of them, I think led to that 10-0 run that we, was just like reminiscent that we could never like really amount. I would even say like the third quarter, right? So we went down 9 and that's why like I'm saying that 10 points we never really caught back on, because we ended the first quarter down 11, I think, and then we ended the second quarter halftime down 9. We ended the third quarter down 9, right? Right, and then like in the fourth quarter, tie game, but we lose the game down 9. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of just was, we couldn't surmount it. The crazy part, you kind of needed the perfect game to beat the Heat. I felt like the Cavs would have been our best matchup. I didn't feel like the Celtics were a good matchup for us, and I was excited to see this team into the postseason. But alas, it just wasn't going to happen this year. The injuries was just too much, and I hate being that guy to blame injuries, but like we've had some significant injuries on this team. Next year, Jalen Johnson and Mo Gay will play all 48 available, power forward minutes. I don't know if you resign Niang. I don't know if you resign LeVert. I do know what this team needs is consistent three ball shooting and another shot creator. So like going back, I completely understand the trade for, oh my God, number 5 from San Antonio. Why is he DeJounte tripping? I completely understand the trade for DeJounte. Because you need a secondary scorer. You need somebody who's going to create offense. Karras does fit a role on this team, and he does have like the ultimate green light. Used it a little bit to his disadvantage, right? Because he shot some terrible shots down the stretch. Niang, he's crafty. He's a big body, but like this team complains, bro. This team complains, and they're a bit immature. And I saw it, we saw it with the Orlando game, and I understand Trey's comments, but like sometimes you just gotta, okay, they're not calling it. Get back into play. You know what I'm saying? Like continue to execute. And that's something that, this team just doesn't have, and we're not good enough to overcome. Right. So like people talk about like the Lakers, right? Like LeBron and Luka complain a lot. You know what I'm saying? But like they're good enough to overcome that. We don't have that on this team. So like they're not calling it, they're not calling it. I think Dyson is the one that kind of like exemplifies that. Big O as well, where it's like, okay, look, you're not gonna call it, I'm gonna throw an elbow and we're just gonna keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Hero caught one to the back of the head because, when Big O went to post up, he wanted to shoulder check him. All right, cool. Like if that's what we doing, that's it. They're not gonna call that, they're not gonna call this. Like that's what we doing, that's what we doing. Type vibe. So I just think when I look at this team, we got some growing up to do. And that's, we're a young team. We're a young team, right? Hawks are a young team. Got some growing up to do. How did we get here? Right? That was the second point. Overlooking this game, Trey and Davion got into it. Mitchell was able to knock down some big shots. I die on the hill. Like PG was saying on his podcast, where it's like, I still think it's a bad shot. Like, hey man, if anybody in crunch time is going to be shooting uncontested threes, it's going to be Davion Mitchell. Yeah, the man had 1 point going into like, I think he had like 3 points in the fourth quarter. He hit 4 threes late. Like it is what it is, bro. Like it is what it is. I think that defensively, I'm open to allowing that shot every single time, especially considering who else was on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Highsmith is a good 3-point shooter. Wiggins has shown the ability to knock down corner threes. Hero obviously can take big shots. And then even Duncan Robinson got out there a little bit when they were going offense, defense. So like, yeah, Davion Mitchell's going to take that shot, and I'm cool with that. we did a surprisingly good job of protecting the paint. Defensively, I think we did a good job. Allowed 123 points in overtime, which is well below our season average. You take the over unders on the Hawks, usually going over because defensively we've been kind of bad. Not kind of, we've been bad. Um, both these play-ins, we faced two top 10 defenses, right? Orlando at 1 in total defense, and then Miami at 9, and it exposed us. Exposed us bad. Atlanta plays fast, and like playing fast is a double-edged sword, right? Because like it does allow your athletes to get into space and create, but then on the flip side of that, it leaves you open to a lot of transition opportunities, and is usually a sign of a bad team that can't defend, right? Not a bad team that can't defend, but a team that struggles at the point of attack defending. And that's what we are. That's what we were for the season. I don't think there's going to be an overhaul, but how we got here currently, we lost this game a week and a half ago. Something I said just on the quick TikTok was that every big game we've had this season, we lost. So if you look back, we lost the in-season tournament game, right? And there's stakes to it, but we lost that game, right? Then you get down toward the end of the season. We lost to the Heat. We lost to Orlando on a huge game that would have put us at the 7, right? Which would have had that game played at home. I don't know if there's a different outcome, but that game would have been at home, right? And then we lose to Orlando again, and then we lose to the Heat. If there is a season in which you were going to get in, right? So if you look at the playoff standings, the Central has 5 teams. All 5 of them had some sort of playoff implication, right? The Bulls lost as the 9th seed, but like the other 4 teams are squarely in the playoffs. You look at the Atlantic, Brooklyn is god awful. They are trash, right? And they've got a lot of growing up and building to do. The other team, and then Philly dealt with a host of injuries this year. Boston, legit, right? You look in the Southeast, the Wizards are bad. They're going to be up and coming soon. Orlando dealt with a host of injuries this year. They could have been a top 7 team. What's it called? That's Orlando. Charlotte is god awful, right? And then you just lost to Miami. If there was a year to get in, it was this year. And this like is the perpetual decline from the 21 Eastern Conference Finals. And yes, we got Coach Quinn back another year. I'm down with it. I will be calling him Coach Quinn going forward. He's a good coach. He understands what needs to be done. He's working with what he has. But I just think honestly, you got what Jalen was 25-5, 25-6, sitting on the bench. You got your boy Larry Nance, your backup power forward. Like Mo Gay wasn't supposed to get minutes this year. Larry Nance, your backup power forward, sitting on the bench. You got Clint, your starting center, sitting on the bench. And I've been a proponent on, maybe Clint should walk. But like, if Clint's gonna walk, we gotta get some real size in here, man. Because O got heart, and he's gonna battle on the boards. But like, sometimes he's just too small. And if you're gonna have to deal with Wendell Carter over there in Orlando, you got to deal with Sarr, who sometimes doesn't play big or act big. Well, this is what you're gonna have to deal with in division. Not even to admit on the Eastern Conference, you got to deal with people like Jared Allen, people like Joel if he ever gets healthy again. You got to get some size down there. You got to get some size down there because otherwise we're not gonna be able to compete. We get crushed on the boards. We're able to force some long misses, and we fought the whole game. So like I can't I can't say we went out like suckers, but it's a bad feeling because like you feel like if there was a game that we were going to be able, if there was a season that we were going to be able to make a run, maybe not make a run, but at least get in, right, and feel good. This team had the number one pick last year, right? This team had the number one overall pick. Coming down to an overtime playing game the year after that, I think that shows you headed in the right direction. Miami continues to befuddle Trey, and like I said, we've been mid all season. We've dealt with the injuries all season, and that's got us to this point. Now, where do we go from here? Kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I think Clint walks. Definitely got to see how the playoffs shake out. But what superstars are on the move? Do you want to make any overture toward, do you want to make an overture toward Kevin Durant? Do you want to see if the Suns want to get off Bradley Beal's contract? I'm not a huge proponent of that one, but there's options there. I don't think we should touch the two unless we're bringing in a backup. I think you let Dyson develop as a starter. Riche, I don't think you touch the 3 spot. Hence, that's the reason you got rid of Hunter, is to allow him to fully take over that role. I think he averages 29 to 30, 33 minutes a game next year and is consistent right there. Jalen back, he got to stay healthy, but I think he locks down that 4 spot. Big O, if you're content with keeping him at the 5, then I think Mo immediately becomes a big piece because he's got height to him. He's got a lot of defensive versatility and switchability. He's got a real good mindset. One thing I will say, Mo ain't got no hoe in him, bro. He ain't got no hoe in him. And you've seen it through that last stretch of the season. You've seen it in both playing games. Like, he ain't backing down from nobody. He's hustling. He's challenging on the boards. Like, I love to see it. Larry Nance, do you bring him back? I'm not sure his contract status. He may have signed for 2 years, but like, is he a valuable piece to the team? Yes, from a like leadership and development type perspective, but on the court, I'm not sure how much, outside of a backup power forward, like, that he really adds at this point. That can't be explained away by having like an actual backup power forward, someone in the 27 to 31-year-old range who's going to consistently be on the floor around 6'9" to 6'11" and knock down the corner 3. That was his role this year. Is he going to be able to fulfill it next year? I don't know. He's dealt with a lot of injuries this year. Is Kobe Buffkin gonna stay healthy? Right? That's a big one because we struggled with backup point guard play all year. And I think like Caris's role is nice, but it allowed for so much stagnation when he was on the floor, even when he shares the floor with Trey, because we don't have a backup point guard to play off of him. Like, Trey doesn't get like true rest and we have someone take over the offense. Kobe needs to step into that role. And if he's not, then we need to seriously consider what we're going to do with the backup point guard position. Backup 2, let go of Bogey. Caris is taking that. Do you want to bring back Caris? I like his role. Does he like that role? Right? He's kind of fallen into that 6-man role pretty nicely. But like, who else can be a spark plug like that? And can you find somebody that doesn't take away from what Trey does enough to, like, do you not want to rock the boat? Do you just want to re-sign him? Niang has probably worked himself into re-signing. I'm ambivalent on him. It's not a we absolutely need to have him back. Or a like, run him out of town, get rid of him. It's more so like, can we find a stretch 3-4 that plays decent defense and can, when we go small ball, deal with a 6'7" to 6'9" power forward playing center matchup wise. Most likely we can find that, but we have that. Do you want to get rid of it? Um, I wouldn't call him a sniper. I would say his role dictates that he shoots a lot of threes on our team, and he's been able to. I think he shot at like a 37, 38% rate. It's not terrible, right? Terrence Mann, I don't see a world in which he wants to come back. His minutes were severely cut over and over again. He was able to get into this game just because Ricochet was kind of shook. Yeah, I don't see him coming back. V, maybe into the bench guy. Garrison Matthews, does he stay? I don't know. It looks like there may be 5 spots open on this team next year. We'll get into contracts and whatnot and what we want that to look like as we go into their offseason type stuff. But overall, I think that the people saying we don't have a direction, their only 2 games that they've watched the Hawks have been these 2, right? The Hawks don't get on national TV much. If you watch the games all year, you can't tell me that we wouldn't have been a 5-6 seed with Jalen healthy. You know what I'm saying? With Jalen healthy, with Clint healthy, with our full array of players, you can't tell me we wouldn't have been a 5-6 seed. But you know, you play the games, and the games that we played, we lost 42 of them or 44 of them. What is that? No, 42 of them. 42 of them. And then we lost these 2 play-ins. You know, you can make all the excuses in the world, but like you had 2 chomps at the apple to get into the playoffs. I didn't think that we necessarily had anything with Orlando, but like we definitely had multiple opportunities with this game at home with the Heat, and we just weren't able to do it. Um, we'll have some betting pod stuff coming up on the football pod later on this week. We'll be doing the draft live, so you guys please tune in for that one. Me and Taj will be going pick by pick pretty much all 3 days. You're gonna see the kids on that one. So like, hey, the audio is gonna be crazy because my kids will be here. So that'll be the draft, and then we're probably gonna, I'll probably talk about the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, but we'll take a week off from Hawks and come back at it next week and start to talk about how things are shaping up through the playoffs, what the team is gonna do, maybe some surgery news, et cetera, et cetera. But it has been a blessing. It's been your boy Q City, and just like the Hawk season, I'm out. Peace.